Hello everyone, welcome to Numeric Learning. Today we'll continue solving more problems from the chapter Arithmetic Progression. Please make sure you are solving these questions. All of these questions have been taken up from the previous year's question paper. So let's get started. The very first question is, if the pth term of an AP is Q and the qth term is P, prove that its ninth term is P plus Q minus N. This question has been asked in 2008 question paper. Let's get started. So we know that the nth term formula, right? The nth term of an arithmetic progression is denoted by an, which is equal to a plus a is the first term plus n minus 1 into d. So n is the number of terms and d is the common difference. That means the difference between any two consecutive terms. So this is your nth term formula. So what will be your pth term? So you are given pth term is nothing but, as per the question, the pth term of an AP is Q. So this pth term is given as Q. So when you expand it, a n equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. So similarly, what is pth term is equal to a plus p minus 1 into d is equal to q. Let this be equation 1. Similarly, this is given in the question. Similarly, you are given the qth term. So let me write it here. The pth term of an AP is a subscript p is equal to q, and the qth term of the AP is denoted by AQ, which is equal to A plus Q minus 1 into D, which is given as the qth term of the AP is given as P. So this is equal to P. Let this be equation number 2. So now we have to solve for 1 and 2, because if you have to find out the nth term, you need to find out what is your A and what is your D. So let us solve it. Right, you can do equation 1 minus 2, equation 1 minus equation 2. So just let's write a plus p minus 1 into d is equal to q. That's equation 1. And the qth term, that is a plus q minus 1 into d is equal to p. This is our second equation. So we are just subtracting the two. So whenever we are subtracting, you will change the sign. Right. So here you have your a and minus a gets cancelled. What is left here? So you have your p minus 1 into d minus q minus 1 into d is equal to q minus p. I hope you know this. So the first term, you will be considering the negative sign here. So the p minus 1 into d minus q minus 1 into d is equal to q minus p. Okay. So here let's take our d common. Inside you will have your p minus 1 minus q, minus into minus is plus 1, right? I have taken d common out, is equal to, you have your q minus p. So now you can cancel minus 1 and plus 1 can get cancelled. So you have your d multiplied by, inside you have p minus q is left, is equal to, I can take minus 1 common out. So this will also become p minus q. The signs will get reversed if I take a minus 1 common out. So what is d equal to? Minus of p minus q divided by, this term will go to the denominator, p minus q. Right? So here p minus q will get cancelled. You have 1 here. So d is equal to minus 1. And that's your first value of d. Let's substitute in any one of the equation. Let's put it in equation 1. Right? Let's put it in equation 1. So put in equation 1. So what is your equation 1? A plus p minus 1 into d. A plus p minus 1 into, in place of initially let me write it as it is, p minus 1 into d. I'm just putting this value of d equal to minus 1 in equation 1. Okay, so a plus p minus 1 into d is equal to q. So now let's just substitute a plus p minus 1 into minus 1 is equal to q. Solve it. So you have a minus p plus 1 is equal to q. Right? So what is a equal to? P will go to the other side, or you have q plus p minus 1. So this is your first term, right? Because you need to find both your d. This is your common difference. D is nothing but the common difference between any two consecutive terms. So we have found this. What is a? A happens to be your first term of the AP. Only if you know your A and D can you find out your nth term. So according to the question, you have to prove that the nth term is p plus q minus h. So what is nth term? In order to find the nth term here, this is your nth term formula. What do you need? You need to find your A and D. Okay, so now that we know your A and D, we can just substitute and calculate what is the nth term. Therefore, the nth term, it will be equal to an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. N minus 1 into d. So a is nothing but q plus p minus 1 plus n minus 1 into d will be minus 1. So let's solve it. Open the bracket. So you have q plus p minus 1 minus n plus 1. So now minus 1 and plus 1 will get, minus 1 plus 1 gets cancelled. What remains is just q plus p minus n, or p plus q minus n. So this will be equal to q plus p minus n, or you can write the same as p plus q minus n. Right? This is your nth term. A n equal to p plus q minus n, hence proved. So that's what you have to prove. Right? I hope you understood. So at the end you can write hence proved. Because this is a question where you have to prove that the nth term is equal to p plus q minus n. So let's do the next question. Question number 2. If the mth term of an AP is 1 by n. So similarly, right, mth term which is represented by a subscript m. Mth term is equal to 1 by n, and the nth term is equal to 1 by m. This is given. Then you have to show that the mnth term is 1, right? Is 1. So to prove, what you have to prove? To prove amn is equal to 1. This is what you have to prove. Now let's expand the same way. We know the mth term is 1 by n. So this is nothing but a plus m minus 1 into d is equal to 1 by n. Right? And an can be written as a plus n minus 1 into d is equal to 1 by m. We have just used the formula of the nth term formula. Let the first one be equation 1. The second one be equation 2. We have to solve 1 and 2. So let's do the same way. Equation 1 minus equation 2. So a plus m minus 1 into d is equal to 1 by n. Equation 2 is nothing but a plus n minus 1 into d is equal to 1 by m. So when you are subtracting, you have to change the sign. So plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus. Now you can cancel a with minus a and do the same way as we did in the previous question. So you have m minus 1 into d minus n minus 1 into d is equal to 1 by n minus 1 by m. Let's take d common out. So inside you will have m minus 1 minus n plus 1 is equal to, you can take LCM. So you have m into n LCM. So numerator will be m minus n. Here inside minus 1 plus 1 gets cancelled. So you have got d multiplied by m minus n is equal to m minus n divided by mn. Again you have got these two will get cancelled, m minus n will get cancelled. So what is your d? Therefore, the common difference d is equal to 1 by mn. So this is your first thing. The common difference has been calculated. Now let's put this in any one of the equations. So let's put this in equation number 1. What is your equation 1? A plus m minus 1 into d is equal to 1 by n. So let's put D is equal to 1 by mn in equation 1. So the equation 1 is A plus m minus 1 into D. So m minus 1, in place of D I'll put 1 by mn is equal to 1 by n. Right? Let's open the bracket and solve it. So you have got A plus, here you have got m multiplied by 1 by mn minus 1 by mn is equal to 1 by n. This is what you have. So this m and m would get cancelled. What is A? Or we can just write it as it is. So A plus 1 by n minus 1 by mn is equal to 1 by n. So this plus 1 by n on either side would get cancelled. What is left? A is equal to minus 1 by mn will go to the RHS, will become plus 1 by mn. So this is your first term. Okay, so we have got our first term and we have got the common difference. Now all we have to do is just put it in our what is required. We have to calculate the mnth term. So what is mnth term? So mnth term is nothing but amn is equal to A plus mn minus 1 into D. In place of A, I will be putting 1 by mn plus mn minus 1 into D. What is D? D is 1 by mn. So just substitute it and open the bracket. So you have 1 by mn plus. So when you open the bracket, this has to be multiplied with this. So mn into 1 by mn is just plus 1. So plus 1 minus 1 by mn. So this plus 1 by mn minus 1 1 by mn would get cancelled. So you have got just 1. What is left is just 1. So you have been able to prove that the mnth term is equal to 1. That's what you have to prove. So you have to show that the mnth term is equal to 1 and you have been able to prove that the mnth term is equal to 1. Hence proved. So just make sure you are doing it carefully. Hence proved. Let's move on to the third question. Here it is. So for what value of n are the nth terms of two APs, 63, 65, 67 is 1 AP and 3, 10, 17 are equal. So for what value of n are the nth terms? So at some point, one of the term of the first AP and the second AP has to be equal. So what is that nth term of the two APs which are equal? Right? Same. So let us calculate. So probably it could be, say, the 10th term of both the APs would be equal, the same values. Let's just check. So let's take our first AP. So you have your 3, 10, 17. This is the first AP. And the second arithmetic progression is maybe 63, 65, 67 and it goes on. So we have taken two APs. So what is your A here? A is the first term. What is D? Difference 10 minus 3, which is 7. That's your common difference. What's the nth term formula? A plus n minus 1 into D. Let's just substitute A and D here. A is 3 plus n minus 1 into D is nothing but 7. So let's substitute. So 3 plus 7n minus 7. So this will be equal to minus 4 plus 7n. This is your nth term of this AP. Let's calculate the nth term of the second AP. So here A is nothing but the first term, which is 63. The common difference is second term minus the first term, which is 2. So the nth term would be A plus n minus 1 into D. Let's substitute A and D. A is 63 plus n minus 1 into D is 2. So 63 plus 2n minus 2. So which will be 63 minus 2 is 61 plus 2n. So these are the two APs. So this is also the nth term of the second AP. So let this be 1, let this be 2. So you have to find out for what value of n are the nth terms of both the APs equal. So let's equate it. So an is equal to an dash. So I've put a dash here in order to differentiate the two nth terms of both the APs. So the first one is an is equal to minus 4 plus 7n is equal to, the second an dash is nothing but 61 plus 2n. Let's solve it. So here you have 61 minus 4 would go to the RHS, will become plus 4. Here you have 7n minus 2n. 7 minus 2, it's 5n is equal to 65. So n is nothing but 65 divided by 5. So you have 5 ones are 5, 5 threes are 15. So n is equal to 13. It's the 13th term of both the APs that are whose values are equal. Okay, so that's your answer. Quite an easy question, but then you should know to apply the nth term formula and then equate it. Understand the question and equate it. Right? Let's move on to the fourth question. Yes. An AP consists of 50 terms, of which the third term, so the total terms is 50. Let's write it. So total terms of the AP is 50. This is given. Of which the third term, that is A3, is equal to 12. And the last term is nothing but 106. Find the 29th term. So total terms is 50. So what is the last term? A50 will be the last term. What is the last term given? So the third term is 12 and the last term, that is AN. N is 50 here. What is the total number of terms denoted? It's N. So AN, A50, the last 50th term is nothing but 106. So when you apply the formula here, what is A3? A plus 2D is equal to 12. So this is your first equation. Second equation is nothing but A plus, the second equation is nothing but A plus 49D, 50 minus 1, N minus 1, 49D is equal to 106. Correct? So let this be equation 1, let this be equation 2, let's subtract it. So equation 2 minus equation 1. So A plus 49D is equal to 106 and then A plus 2D is equal to 12. Change the sign when you are subtracting. Just solve these pairs of linear equations. Plus A minus A gets cancelled. 49 minus 2, which will be 47. D is equal to, you have your 484. Right? So D is equal to, what is 47 into 2? 14, 4, 1, 94. Yeah, this is 94 actually. Right? 6 minus 2 is 4. Again 10 minus, it's 94. Yeah. So D is equal to 94 divided by 47, which is equal to 2. So D is equal to 2. Now let's put it in any one of the equations. So put in equation 1 in order to get A. Put in 1. So you have A plus 2 into D is 2 is equal to 12. So A is equal to 12 minus 4, which is equal to 8. Right? So A is 8. First term is 8, D is 2. What are we asked? You have to find the 29th term. Therefore, let's calculate the 29th term of the AP, which is equal to A29 is equal to A plus 28D. What is A? A is 8 plus 28 into D is 2. So this is 8 plus 2, it's a 16, 56. What is 56 plus 8? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 4, 1, 64. Correct? So the 29th term is 64. That's your answer. I hope you are able to understand. So when you're doing this, division here, right? When you're subtracting, when you're changing the sign, and here, these are the places where you have to be super, super careful. Okay? So the answer is the 29th term is, you have to find the 29th term. So the 29th term is 64. So that's how you have to do. Let's move on to the fifth question. Yes. If m times whatever be the line, just translate and write it mathematically. M times means m multiplied by the mth term of AP. Let's write that. So m times m times the mth term of an AP is equal to n times the nth term. N times its nth term, where m is not equal to n. You have to show that m plus nth term of an AP is 0. We have to show, what do you have to do? What do you have to show? To show a m plus nth term. M plus nth term is equal to 0. This is what you have to show. Now let's expand based on what we know. So m times, what is the formula for nth term? You know, a plus n minus 1 into d. So this is a plus m minus 1 into d is equal to n multiplied by, again, use the nth term formula, a plus n minus 1 into d. Now you have to solve. So m into a, it's ma plus md into m minus 1 is equal to na plus nd into n minus 1. So I've just multiplied m with both the terms inside, right? M into a ma, m into d md multiplied by m minus 1. Again n into a na, n into n minus 1 into nd. I have written it together into n minus 1. I'm bringing all of the terms to one side. So you have got your MA, that NA comes to the LHS, so minus NA plus MD into M minus 1 is already in the LHS. So minus ND into N minus 1 equal to 0. Right, so take A common. So you have M minus N is equal to, from these two terms you can take plus D common out. Right, plus d, if you take common, what will remain here? M into m minus 1 minus n into n minus 1 equal to 0. Right? So here a into m minus 1 plus d multiplied by, what do you have here? Just multiply it. Solve it inside. M into m square minus m minus n square plus n equal to 0. Right? So let's write this m square and n square together. So you have a into m minus n plus d into m square minus n square, right, minus m plus n equal to, I've just rearranged the terms. Now what is this m square minus n square, a square minus b square formula? So a into m minus n plus d multiplied by, you can write it as a plus b m plus n into m minus n minus, you can take common, so you'll have m minus n. Right? If you take negative minus 1 common out, what will you have? Minus m will become plus m, plus n will become minus n, is equal to 0. Okay. Now from these two terms, right, you have got, there are two terms here. This is one term and this is the second term. So here what you can do is you can take m minus n common out. Right? So you have got a into m minus n plus d into, you can take m minus n common out. What will remain inside is m plus n minus 1 will remain equal to 0. So among these two terms now, you have got, among these two terms you have got m minus n common. So let's take m minus n common. So what, you can put a square bracket, a plus d into, what will remain? So you have already taken m minus n, you have taken common. What remains? A plus d into, this term will remain, m plus n minus 1. M plus n minus 1 will remain, is equal to 0. So if m minus n goes to the other side, it will become 0. So what, and you're already given that m is not equal to n, right? So if m is not equal to n, this is, it has a difference, right? M is not equal to f. If m was equal to n, then this would have been 0, and 0 multiplied by 0, everything will be 0. But here m is not equal to n. That means there is some positive difference. When it goes to the other side, to the RHS, 0 divided by m minus n would come, which is 0. So what I am going to write in the next step is, I am not going to write this term because this has gone to the other side. It has become 0 by m minus n, which is 0. So what I am going to write is only so much. A plus m plus n minus 1 into d is equal to 0. Okay, so just like a plus n minus 1 into d is equal to a n, similarly, what is this equal to? In C, a plus, in place of n, we have got m plus n. Everything else is the same. So, this is nothing but a m plus nth term is equal to 0, and that's what we have to show. You have to show that m plus nth term is 0, right? So, this is nothing but, what is this? This is the m plus nth term of an AP, right? And we have proved that it is equal to 0, hence proved. Hence proved. So make sure this question is super important. It has been asked 3 times in 2019 question paper 2019. Okay, so please make sure you practice this question. I hope you are able to understand. We will continue practicing more questions from this chapter in tomorrow's video. Please do check out the Do Math With Me series. Revise the previous units like real numbers, polynomials, linear equations, quadratic equations, introduction to trigonometry, applications of trigonometry, coordinate geometry, and now we are doing AP. So more are yet to come, and do leave your feedback in the comments. Looking forward to seeing how much these videos are helpful for you for your daily practice. Keep learning, keep practicing. See you all in another video tomorrow. Till then, take care and thank you.